Last year, LG pushed the boundaries of what a smartphone could do with the modular design of the G5. Geeks everywhere loved the pure innovation it brought to the table, but it was a little gimmicky and not very durable. LG has dropped the modular component on the G6, but stayed true to its roots by trying something new with an 18:9 screen ratio. The 5.7-inch display, narrow bezels with felt curved corners, and a glass back that's understated or can stand out big time, it's the design details on the G6 that give it some of its swagger. The 18:9 ratio is a first, and it's one we expect to see in a few flagship devices later this year. It's longer and still quite narrow, so fairly easy to grip with one hand. Under the hood, we've got a Snapdragon 821 processor with 4GB of RAM and 32GB of storage, unless you're in Asia and that's going to be 64 standard. Yes, we did say it's the same processor as previous generations, but LG claims they've really taken the time to get to know this processor and worked out all of its kinks. And if you just want a smartphone that works really well, the 821 is really quite fast enough. But if you're missing the upcoming Snapdragon 835, Qualcomm has taken the time to work with LG on getting some of the improvements into the G6. You're going to see these mostly in the camera. There used to be a slight glitch when you switch between the widescreen and the main camera on the G5. This is now seamless. Speaking of dual cameras, they are now equals at 13 megapixel. This is a step down from the G5 16 megapixel shooter, but they went with 13 to get rid of that camera bump. The dual lenses offer the same great wide and narrow angle with 125 or 71 degrees. On the front, we have a 5 megapixel camera that has a 100-degree field of view. The camera interface is the first place that we really see LG taking advantage of that extra screen real estate. In Camera Roll, you can preview all the photos you just took. Square is a camera feature that splits the display into two perfect squares. Grid Shot puts 4 photos into one. Guide Shot gives you some examples of shots you can frame against, and Match Shot lets you take one photo and line it up with the other. I tried really hard to have a photo of me looking at myself, but I bet if you had more time, you could probably come up with something a bit better. Fullscreen UX gives you a lot more room. The contact page fills out and gives you more photo, messages are longer, the music player also shows you more album, and weather takes advantage of the added pixels too. My biggest complaint with the G5 was that it wasn't that durable of a smartphone. LG listened, and they put a lot of thought into decreasing the likelihood that you're going to crack your screen front and back. On the front, we have a Gorilla Glass 3 with a tiny lip that's supposed to protect the display, and the back boasts Gorilla Glass 5. The curved edges on the corner do more than just look good. A traditional display has a sharp corner, but LG has actually cut that corner, which spreads the force of impact, and it's moved the antenna line a bit further from the corner, which also increases durability. The G6 has an IP68 rating, which means you can submerge it into water, and it's also dust-proof. The battery is competitive at 3,300 mAh, and if you're in the US, you're going to have the option for wireless charging. This isn't the only local variation. On top of getting 64GB, Asia is also getting hi-fi quad DAC audio. So if you're in Europe, you've got no bells and whistles. At first glance, the G6 is just another smartphone. Dropping that removable battery was a big risk. But LG is targeting the masses, and the masses want performance, durable build, and a camera that just won't quit. If you're after the latest and greatest processor and want to really win that spec race with every feature you can get, LG's got you covered, but you're going to have to wait for the V30. What do you think about the G6? Should LG have committed to making modular design for the sake of innovation and being different? Or are you happy with the thoughtful, solid tank that they've just released with the G6? Let me know in the comments. I'm your host, Nicole Scott, for Mobile Geeks.